I chose Tulipa gesneriana for my focal species. Tulips are part of the Liliaceae family and exhibit many characteristics of this family, such as flower parts in threes. Their flowers have 3 sepals, 3 petals, 6 stamens, and 3 carpels. Tulips are perennial, but die back during winter and resprout in spring from a bulb or modified stem. This bulb also allows them to reproduce asexually, where new bulbs grow within the original one, which has important consequences for cultivation in that new bulbs are genetically identical to their parent. Wild tulips originated in Central Asia, near the Tian Shan and Amir Alai mountain ranges, where the ability to die back during winter proved highly valuable. From these high alpine meadows, tulips spread in all directions, reaching Russia, China, and the eastern Mediterranean. Tulips would soon cover even greater distances with the help of humans. This particular story of the love affair between tulip and human begins in Turkey. During the height of the Ottoman Empire, tulips flourished beautifully. While this flower had long been prized among the Turks, tulips were brought to full glory under 2 sultans, Selim II and his father, Suleiman the Magnificent. Selim was a lover of plants and a bit of a hoarder, having collected at least 350,000 tulip bulbs for the palace gardens. His father provided even more for the tulip species, this time more indirectly. Turkey, under Suleiman's warlike rule, grew by leaps and bounds, and wherever the Turkish armies conquered, tulips quickly followed. Suleiman even laid siege to Vienna, which forced Austria to send an ambassador to Turkey to negotiate the release of the city and, coincidentally, spread tulips to Europe. This ambassador, Ogier Gezelin de Bouzbek, was an avid botanist. Upon arrival in Constantinople, he was immediately struck by the beautiful red flowers that many people wore tucked in their turbans, or thulipen in Turkish. De Bouzbek more than likely mistook his guide's explanation of the headdress for the flower, and thus the name tulip was born. De Bouzbek was so struck with tulips that when he returned to Austria he brought bulbs with him to plant in the Vienna imperial gardens. Our next important player in the spread of tulips is Carolus Clusius, a Flemish botanist who oversaw the imperial gardens in Vienna. When he was offered a job at the university in Leiden, Netherlands, he brought along his entire collection of rare plants, tulips included. By this time, tulips were beginning to gain notoriety throughout Europe, and many Hollanders were interested in buying bulbs from Clusius. He was so jealous of his prized flowers, however, that he set the price unattainably high. A bad choice on his part, as soon after, thieves raided his garden, stealing his entire collection. Tulips became readily available throughout Holland, and widely popular. However, the famous, unrestrained tulip speculation that would soon follow did not begin until the remarkable phenomenon of breaking began to appear. Tulips, when propagated asexually, produce uniform flowers identical to the parent bulb, unless they have been infected by a virus carried by the peach potato aphid, in which case the colors exhibited by infected flowers become striated in beautiful patterns based on which cells in the corolla are infected. This phenomenon only became understood in the early 1900s, which meant that in 17th century Holland the process of breaking was a complete and utter mystery, where tulips would bloom into spectacular new forms and colors, seemingly at random. These broken varieties became far more valuable than unbroken tulips, and symmetrically broken tulips were even more expensive, adding another layer of random chance to a bulb's value. This rampant appreciation continued till Hollanders were buying and selling future tulip varieties that had yet to exist, and staking their entire livelihoods on this ambitious gamble. Unfortunately, in 1637, the number of sellers began to greatly outweigh the number of buyers, and the tulip trade collapsed catastrophically. Tulips continued to be bred throughout Europe following the crash, but never yielded such high prices, and this remarkably beautiful flower returned quietly to its place among the gardens. Nowadays, broken tulip varieties are hard to come by, as the virus that brought such bizarre beauty also weakened the plant, and broken varieties eventually died out. However, tulips have been bred into myriad beautiful forms without the use of a virus, and are more than likely growing in a garden near you.